So what is a micro-influencer and how can it bring value to my business? Awesome question that was sent in to me recently. And we're standing here out the back of Six Strings Brewery on the Central Coast. And I thought this would be a great location to be able to answer the question. There's a few different interpretations depending on what you read in the social media community about what a micro-influencer is and the role that they play. For me, I determine a micro-influencer as somebody who has influence, who has a direct network of people. So either be it legitimate followers, say on the Instagram, maybe 10,000 followers, so quite a fairly small number of followers on their Instagram, for instance, or their Facebook, or their Snapchat, whatever it might be. But they have a good network, a good solid network that's locally based or that has the ability to influence at a local level. So the value that I see in that, and you hear, amazing people like Gary Vaynerchuk talk about attention and the price of attention, and why everyone seems to be focused on micro influence, or why it's important, micro influencers, I should say, and why it's important, is because the value of the attention of those individuals and their small networks but powerful networks is what businesses can use to leverage and drive more business from a marketing perspective. How they do that, so a great example, Six Strings has a presence on the coast, it produces here on the coast, it's local, and has a great range of beers and ciders. So where micro-influencers could come into play, for example, there could be, let's say, a barbecue team on the Central Coast, a pitmaster, somebody who focuses on barbecue competitions, or they might be big into barbecue, or they might even go out there and have a barbecue truck, and they're providing barbecues at a lot of the festivities that happen on the Central Coast. Let's use that as an example. Imagine them, they might have 5, 10, 15,000 followers. Perfect example of a micro-influencer. They've got the attention of people who want to know where they are, what events and what venues they're at. Six Strings could use that, could reach out to them, and in some form of and there's a number of ways of creating those partnerships. There could be monetary, or it could be contra. It could be affiliate. So that means affiliates where they do something, you do something, and together you're mutually benefiting out of that arrangement. A paid sponsorship could be where you go to a micro-influencer, you pay them an amount of money to seed your content and promote your brand. Or the partnership is you going out there together, for instance, for the greater good. So where a brewery, for instance, could use micro-influencers, they go to that barbecue team, and that barbecue team seeds content about the products. Maybe they do a special barbecue activation here where they do, this amazing big cook-up, and they have specially matched beers to go with the brisket and the ribs and so forth. That's how they could use, a great example of how they could use micro-influence. Another example, for instance, is you could be, let's say you're an up-and-coming swimwear model, you're quite well known in your location, you've got 5 to 10, 15,000 followers, people start to pay attention. When you show products or when you talk about products, people listen, and they're following you because they appreciate and they want the products that you're wearing. They want to know what you're using because there's an aspiration there, and they resonate with you as an influencer. That's where your value is. A business can then use that. For instance, if you're selling swimwear, you might be able to reach out to this person and say, hey, I'd love to gift you a couple of pieces of swimwear if you like it and you think it's worth talking about or sending me some photos on. Great. Another example, somebody that I connected with some time ago recently reached out to me. She has a phenomenal business based in the Barossa where she turns she turns wine barrels, so ex-wine barrels, into amazing wood products. So her and her dad run this business. It's called Wine Stains Barossa, and they turn the wine barrels into cheese boards, into chopping boards, into like wine holders, so like wine glass holders and wine rack where you can stake them in the ground when you're at a picnic. Some beautiful, really handmade boutique products. And she recently reached out to people that have the attention, to micro-influencers, people that have small groups within their networks and the attention of people within their networks, to ask them if she could give them some of her product. They would take some pictures using it and activating it which she would then take those pictures and use that for her social media, for her blogging, for her Facebook, for her Instagram. So basically swapping the product for content. And that's, again, another great way of using the micro-influencers, because not only do they give you content, but they're also sharing that with their communities and outreaching through their communities and their networks to slowly build that brand value and give that brand that attention, that traffic, and hopefully that transaction as well. The goal is, if you're selling a couple of cheese boards, if you're selling some swimwear, or you're selling a couple of cases of really nice beer, for example, that could be more than enough. The return on the investment for reaching out to those influencers can be quite small, as opposed to the greater amounts of money that you could invest in, say, advertising, and then trying to build that organically, through paid methods, not organically, as opposed to using micro-influence and building that brand organically. Yes, it might take longer, but there's a lot more value because you're entrenching and you're seeding yourself within the types of communities and the types of influencers that you and your brand and your business resonates with. I hope that helps.